Hi guys, it's Tammy Slater Kendrick, and today I just wanted to give you some hurricane preparedness tips that you may not see anywhere else. Obviously, things like getting batteries and things like that are on the list for all of us, but here are some things that you may not have thought about. First of all, when it comes to making sure that you have enough water, the governor's recommending we have at least a week's worth of water, food, and medicine. So one of the things that you can do, especially if the local store is out of bottled water, is just to take all of the bottles that you have available to you, whether they're 2-liter soda bottles or milk jugs, and in this case, this was from some tea that I got at the grocery store, is to fill them with water. Now this one I have taken and I put it in the freezer, and I'm going to leave it there as this is going to be one of my backup water support sources. And the reason I put it in the freezer is that if the electricity goes out, I now have a big chunk of ice at the freezer to help keep it cold. As it thaws out, then I'll be able to drink it. Also keep in mind that because you may have some food that you're going to need to refrigerate and keep cold, if the electricity does go out, you don't need a generator necessarily. You can take all the plastic containers, and let's use what you already have, right? Take all the plastic containers that you have, fill them with water, and put them in the freezer and create ice blocks out of them. After you've got them frozen into ice blocks, then all you have to do is put them in a Ziploc bag and put them in your freezer. An alternate way that you can do that is to actually just fill the Ziploc itself with water. You can lay them flat so that you have flat squares, or you can stand them up so that you have different shapes. It depends on what you want. And then in between each of these, when you put them in the freezer, be sure that you separate them with paper towels. I got my paper towel wet. The reason that you want to do that is so that they don't stick together and you can separate them easily after they're frozen. This way, if your electricity does go out, now you've got these big chunks of ice that you can stick next to your milk and anything else that's super perishable like cheese, meats, things like that. And you can keep those things cold for a pretty long period of time. You can go ahead now. We've got several days before the hurricane's supposed to hit. Go ahead and do this now and get prepared so that they're sitting in the freezer. So let's say that you're going to be out of town and you don't know if you're going to lose electricity or not when you get back. Electricity's on. You don't know if it was out while you were gone. So here's a way that you can find out if your electricity was off, and if so, you need to get rid of all the food that's in your freezer. Before you leave, what you want to do is take a small cup, fill it with water, and freeze it. Then take it out of the freezer, put a quarter on top of the ice, stick it back in your freezer, and then when you return home, if the quarter is still on top, that means that it stayed frozen and your food is good. If you come back and the quarter is at the bottom of the cup, it means that the electricity went out. Maybe it came back on and it refroze, but the quarter being in the bottom of the cup lets you know it was out for an extended period of time, long enough for this to melt, and the food in your freezer is no longer any good, so you need to throw it out. Now let's talk about keeping yourself cool. If the electricity goes out and you don't have air conditioning available to you, you want to make sure that you can stay cool as long as possible. First of all, you've got all these blocks of ice, so you can take and just put blocks of ice. Your wrist is a great place to cool you off quickly. Back of your neck, anything that there's a lot of blood flow, that will help cool you off quickly if you start getting overheated. But I like to try to prevent getting overheated in the first place. And here are some tools that we use when we go to Disney and the other theme parks. First of all, we love these. Or I do. They're called Frog Togs. It's basically a chill pad. They come in different sizes. This one's really big. The smaller size just fits around your neck. What you do is you get this wet, you put it around your neck, and it will help keep you quite a bit cooler for a long time. One of these at Disney World for the day, even in the middle of the summer, will help keep me cool. To help, though, keep it even cooler is now that I've got this wet rag around my neck, and you can also just use regular hand towel, get it wet, soak it down, is to then put air source on you. So we have several of these small handheld fans that you can get for just a couple of dollars. They've got a lot of them at Walgreens, Walmart, things like that. Just little small handheld fans. Anytime you blow air on yourself, it's going to help keep you cooler. In addition to this cool towel, that's going to help keep you quite a bit cooler. And then I'm a techno geek, as Michael will attest. He likes to make fun of me. Here's something that I saw somebody using at one of the theme parks, and I had to go out and get one, too, for myself. This is a fan that goes around your neck. You turn it on, put it around your neck. You can direct the air wherever you want it to go, and it will help keep you cool. Like I said, this plus this at Disney World, I can go all day long in July, and I won't say that I'm cool as a cucumber, but I'm definitely comfortable and not getting overheated. So these are a couple of ways that you can keep yourself cool when the electricity goes out. This is this one is has an internal battery that has to be charged, so you might want to make sure that you've got the ability to keep it charged. And the other one that I set aside has a battery in it, so just make sure you have plenty of batteries. So speaking of batteries, make sure that your cell phone is fully charged and you keep it charged during the storm so that if the electricity goes out, you're pretty assured that you have a full charge. But you also might want to consider getting battery backups for yourself. This is a great way to charge your phone on the go. And for me, it also charges this neck fan. I have 2 of them. So get those charged now. Put them on chargers before the hurricane even starts to get here, and they'll be fully charged. Then if you exhaust all of your resources, don't forget, go out to your car, start up your car for a little while, plug your devices in, get everything charged, and you're good to go for several hours. Now let's talk about the garage and what you can do with the things in the garage. It's a perfect time right now for you to go to your garage and start getting anything that is that could get wet, that you've got it put away, that you've got it raised up out of the water, obviously. But if you run out of room and you find that you've got items that need to be kept dry, here's something you can think about. If you have a kayak or you have a paddleboard, put them on the floor and you can put items on top of them. As the water comes into your garage, they will rise and it'll keep the things that are on the paddleboard or the kayak dry. You can also, if you've got them, use these inflatable mattresses that we like to use for occasional guests, or we like to use them on the boat. You can put things on the inflatable mattress and it's going to rise as water comes in. Chances are you're not going to get more than a couple inches of water in the garage. You'll be able to keep a lot of things dry that way, and they don't necessarily have to be put in your house or put up. Now let's talk about your house. If water's starting to come into your house, you want to make sure that your furniture is protected. Obviously now is the time to get anything up off the floor that you can, but let's be realistic, you can't move your bed very high. So if you need to keep the legs of your furniture dry, here's a quick tip. And I'm just going to use this stool as an example. Let's say this is the leg of your bed or the piece of furniture. Take a couple of these grocery store bags. We all have hundreds of them, right? And wrap the legs of your furniture with the bags. You can go up as far as you need to, and then just use tape to tape it down securely. Now you've got a waterproof barrier that will help keep your furniture legs dry, and you can probably sustain a couple of inches of water in the house and not ruin your furniture. So hopefully these are a few tips that you can use that will help get you prepared for a hurricane. Obviously you have to start in advance of the hurricane, at least a day or two. So make sure that you start getting on these things now before it actually hits.